We've got John, the allegedly human, with a ghost story. Hi, John. It's John and Tom.
Hey, John, how are you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, you were talking about theater ghost stories. I have one. I actually experienced this one. I don't believe in the supernatural, but it was a little spooky at the time. So I used to work as a saloon keeper at a melodrama theater in California. And one of the legends they had was that the lead actor who played the villain in one of the plays, the Snidely Whiplash type of guy, he was coming to opening night and got in a motorcycle wreck and was killed. So as we were discussing ghost stories in the saloon after the show, someone says, we probably shouldn't talk about it because, something, they might decide to do something. And at that very moment, a mirror that was on the wall fell, crashed, and broke on the floor. And so everybody thought that was the ghost. And so that was pretty cool. And of course he was, people have seen this guy dressed up in a, semi tuxedo with a top hat and a mustache wandering around the theater, especially the green room. So it was pretty hilarious. So I even caught a glimpse of him once. So that power of suggestion is really, really, really strong.
Right.
So somebody told me he was walking around, and then in the bar once, I had one of my bar people was getting glasses from the bottom of the refrigerator, right? The beer mugs, and when I glanced over, I saw this guy standing over her and looking down at her, and then it disappeared. And so I thought, if I was more superstitious, I would think this was real, but it was just all suggestion. So I just want people to know that you can have those.
Right. I have some questions though, and I know you're not a believer, but let's just say you are, just for argument's sake, right? I always thought in ghost lore, like wherever the ghost dies is where they haunt, right? But you said that this guy died in a motorcycle accident.
Right.
Was that right? And I'm guessing he didn't die in a motorcycle accident at the theater.
I don't know where he died, but it was close to the theater because he was en route to opening night.
Right. Oh, okay.
He just finished his journey.
Literally. Theater. But so if he was maybe in this country it's not quite as needed, but I know that motorcyclists where I'm from have to wear motorcycle helmets, but you said that he was the ghost of this person wasn't wearing a motorcycle helmet, which surely if you had a motorcycle accident and you died wearing it, that's what you'd haunt the place as, right? If we've got the choice to go and haunt the place that we want after we've died, I could die in this little closet that I've turned into a sound box that's falling apart, but then go, do you know what? I really want to go and haunt Disney. So that's where I'm going, and go and spend the rest of eternity like walking around the Harry Potter world at Disney. Yeah. I would do that. I wouldn't.
Cinderella's castle or something.
Right. I wouldn't. If I was a motorcyclist and I was on my way, yes, I love the theater, and I do love the theater. I work at a theater. If I was en route to a theater on a motorbike and I died and I went, do you know what? That's it. I'm going somewhere else. I've been in the theater so much. I'm going to try a new experience.
And then you go to Disney.
Well, he was heading for the theater, so and he was dressed in his costume for that show.
Right. Oh, there you go.
That when people sense. Saw him.
Well,
it seems to me that like the way that should be working then is like you see him on the motorcycle on the way to like get to the show, right? And we have to fix it, make sure to take the stick out of the road at midnight or whatever, so that he gets to the show and can perform. It's not he's at the show. That's the mystery. How do we prevent this from happening?
It's great also that there was an undead or spiritual version of his costume ready for him for when he died. It's like, I need to go and get a costume now. So, luckily there's an undead version.
Checked props though. And
there you go.
I don't think anybody checked to see if it was still there or not.
And so I know this is theatre related. I work in a theatre. There's apparently a ghost at the theatre that I work at by the name of Loretta. She didn't even die there. She died in her home like a few miles away. But she always loved the theatre. So they say that they buried her in the green room at the theatre. And there's a smooth floor in the green room, but there's like a bricked area, which looks to me like somebody once dug it up to get to like a gas pipe or something like that and went, well, we haven't got any regular concrete. Let's just put some bricks in there and cover it over. That's kind of what it looks like to me. But they've gone, that must be where the ghost's buried or the body's buried. So now she can haunt freely this building. I have never seen this woman ever. And I've never heard anything. All of my friends that also are at the theatre, I had an experience. A chair moved, but they're these chairs that fold up, and if gravity, or a bit of wind or something plays a part, it just goes doof, and you hear a thud. I'm so disappointed that I've not had a proper ghostly experience since I've lived in Kentucky.
John, Kentucky probably has some ghosts around some of the old plantation homes if there's some around. So
there's a hospital actually near to where I am. I need to just start really putting some work in, I think, and go and find these undead people who can maybe give me some messages to pass on to I don't know, friends or family. I have the gift. Apparently, I'm an ex-spiritualist. I can pass on messages. I never have.
I thought it was funny though that the experiences when you're asleep or part asleep, that's an actual hallucination. I have them. They're called hypnagogic if they're when you're falling asleep, and hypnopompic when you're waking up. So I have both. So it's like, I've seen some pretty strange things, like guys running through my room and thought they were real until they kind of ran through the wall.
Right.
Okay, I
feel like I've had that as well. I've definitely had that kind of experience in my life. But my folks went, well, do you know what, John? You just see dead people. Oh, okay. Thanks, Mom.
Well, as you get older, it's more and more frequent that this happens to people. So that's what I'm told. So, I'm getting older. So, yeah.
We're all getting older. Now I can't wait. Oh, man. I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
Something to think about.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
You're welcome, John.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for calling in and passing that story on. Have you got any?
I got one more thing for you.
Oh, go on, do it.
I can't. Yeah, and that is that you should do a voiceover for the bigotry duck.
I need to find out what the bigotry duck is, but I'm gonna search it. But I definitely should do that. I'll speak to Kelly. So, for those who don't know, I'm a professional voiceover, and whilst I was still in the UK voicing stuff, I was the voice of an animated duck. The same folks that make the Wallace and Gromit characters also made this duck, and I was the voice of it. And we're all having a great time at my expense for me being the voice of an animated duck. And I had a great time. I'll speak to Kelly after the show and then see about giving the bigotry duck a voice.
Yep.
I feel like if it was, I'm hoping that this duck is very anti-bigotry and not one that promotes. What kind of duck is this? But I want to give it
an anti-bigotry duck. Yeah,
that's good. I wanted to make sure. I don't want to sign up for something that I'm not for. So yeah, as long as it's an anti-bigotry duck, I'm there. I'll give him a voice.
You can see the duck actually on nonprofits once in a while.
Okay.
Plug there.
There you go. Right, I'm going in. Well, we appreciate that, John. Thank you for sharing that. I'm still, I like you, still a non-believer, but I like the story.
I think it's fair to point out too. Thank you, John.
Cheers, John. What were you gonna say?
Thank you, John.
I just like your point about the consistency of the ghosts, right? Because if you choose Disney World, I would love that world where there's a ghost on this ride. It's like, who's the ghost? It's like John.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened? He's like, oh, I just like Disney World.
Yeah. Did he die here? No.
He's here.
No. He died in Kentucky.
Just likes it.
Yeah. Just really wanted to go to Disney World.
You see that cart right there? That's full of dead people, right? They just fucking come here. We can't get rid of them.
Surely you couldn't have 400 dead people on one ride though, because do dead people see each other as well? I don't know. Like, you'd be sitting on the same seat as another dead person. You'd have to take a ticket, right? I don't know.
It depends if they're all involved in the same scheme to make sure that we got to get there by midnight. He'd have to be there earlier, probably like 6 or something.
Right. But ghosts can't appear in the daytime, right? They have to appear. It's either dark or foggy.
Yeah.
And if it's both, then well, you better hope it's Friday the 13th. You're going to see some stuff.